Start answering questions. And you are developing an automation project using the Git repository, and you want to view the differences between two similar workflows in the same project. What provides this functionality? The compare with latest compares the selected version of the file with the latest version, so that is not the answer. Compare with previous compares the selected version of the file with the previous version, so that is also not the answer. Compare with selected, it compares the selected two versions of the file. So this option should be the correct answer, but let's also check this one. Compare with local. This one compares the selected version from Git, TFS, and SVN with the local version. So the answer is compare with selected. Number two, a process uses the robotic enterprise framework with orchestrator queues, and the value of the max number of retries on the queue is 3 and the max retry number value in the config file is 0. In the event of repeating system exception, what is the maximum number of times a queue item will be retried? So the answer is 3 because it will follow the orchestrator queue setting. It will only use the max retry number value in the config if not working with the orchestrator queue. So the answer is 3. A developer has followed UiPath best practices when automating a process by using the robotic enterprise framework. A large number of orchestrator assets of type integer are required for the process. So where in the config file should the names of the integer assets be referenced? So the answer should be an asset sheet because for integer, boolean, and text asset, we should use the asset sheet. We only use the setting sheet if the asset is of credential type. So the answer should be asset sheet. So a developer uses workflow analyzer to check the process shown in the following graphic. In the workflow, if the workflow analyzer is configured with the default rules, which warning will be shown in the error list? Um, this workflow can cause a potential infinite loop, and it is not a good practice. So as you can see here in the exhibit or in this graphic, the developer did not attach any activity in the other part of the decision activity. So my answer will be potential infinite loop. And let's check the next question. A developer scrapes data from a website and store it in three variables, first name, last name, and city. When passing the data to another workflow to be used later in the process, the developer wants to store the three strings variable in a fixed size data structure named user data. So based on the best practices, which data structure and assignment should the developer use? Well, the option that shows using an object variable, I think those are wrong, and that is probably not part of the UiPath best practices. So we have two options, the array of string and or a list of string. If we go back to the question, the developer wants to use a fixed size data structure. Well, by default, the array is a fixed size variable, meaning we can no longer add data to it once we set it, wherein the list variable, you can add more data to it. Though I know in UiPath there are workarounds to add data to an array variable. Another thing, if we want to easily access the values after passing the variable to another workflow, then array is probably the answer because you can just use the index of the data. So my answer will be the uh, string of array type. Go to the next question. A developer is modifying a workflow which contains several invoke method activities. What is an attribute of the invoke activity? Uh, Invoke method activity, it does not execute a XAML file and it doesn't have an input argument, so this one is wrong. VB.NET statements are used in invoke code activity and not invoke method activity, so this one is also wrong. Well, this option is also wrong, and this option is correct. Target type and target objects are attributes of invoke method activity. So for the static method, it will execute using the target type, And for the instance method, it will execute using the target object attribute. I have a video reviewing this activity. You can see that in the screen. So if you want to check that activity in more detail, you can check that one. So the answer for this question is executes on either target type or target object. These are the two attributes of an invoke method activity. So let's go to the next page. You read data from an Excel file into a data table called DT employee. The Excel data is shown in the following graphic. You are required to filter the data table to get all rows with employees from the finance and IT department whose salary is less than 30,000. So which expression provides the required result? So for the first option, um, this option is wrong because there is no separator for the second condition. It is a straight condition. And then same with the next option, there is also no separator for the second condition because we are dealing with two conditions here. First is the department and the other one is the salary. So letter C or the third option, this one is wrong because it uses the end for both department. So this will not return the expected value that we need. So it only leave us the last option, which is correct because it uses or for the department condition and there's also a separator for the second condition. So this will be our answer for this question. Number 8, the developer needs to debug a process based on the orchestrator log. There are no errors or exception messages in the logs. However, the output is not as expected because the transaction status of the queue item remain in the in progress status. And the process execution is finished and the execution ended log is present in the orchestrator log. So what is the possible cause for this behavior? This option could not be the correct answer. Connectivity issues. I don't think that will be the right answer to this. This is also not possible because orchestrator user cannot change the transaction item status in orchestrator. And this is probably the answer because this is the only activity that sets the transaction item to successful or failed. So without having this activity, then the transaction item status will not really be updated to successful or failed. And the last option, this is not possible. So the answer is set transaction status activity was not used to set the status to successful or failed. A developer is creating a process to extract all text from multiple native PDF file. Which activity should the developer use to retrieve the text from an entire PDF file? Well, read PDF text is a PDF activity used for native PDF file, and this option should be the correct answer. Read PDF with OCR is also an activity used for PDFs, but mostly with image-like content. The get OCR text and get text activities, these are used for UI automation element. So read PDF text is our answer for this. No, 5 queue items were added to a queue on December 25, 2021. Depending on the queue item properties, what is the correct sequence in which this queue item will be processed? Well, this is a very tricky and confusing question, but there is a pattern that I discover for you to know which one will be processed first and what will be the proper prioritization in the queue. So the first thing we need to look at here is the priority and the deadline or the item with both the priority and deadline information. So we'll start with the priority. So here we can look we can see that there are two items with high where actually there are three items with high priority but the first one doesn't have a deadline. So we will be looking at these two items and then since both are high, the next step is to check the deadline, which one is the earliest. Since this one is December 26th, this one should come first, and this one will come next. So this will be our second. Now, After the high priority, next to that is the normal priority. Since we only have one normal priority here, this should be the third item. And next to that is the low priority. And last will be the no deadline items, even if the priority is high. So, yep. So I hope you get the logic when dealing with this kind of question. Again, first, always look at the item with both the priority and deadline, and then check the priority first before the deadline. That's why we priority the item with high priority and then with the earliest deadline. All right, so let's check the next question.